Just wrapping up the Florida game. After watching the film, I really did think we did some good things. I thought our players played extremely hard on both sides of the ball. Offensively, we had, the thing about that game was it went so quick. Our offense only had 7 possessions, and that goes to both sides. Offense not getting first downs and defense letting them drive it too much, so limited possessions there. But I thought we did keep them off balance for a few possessions, moved the ball pretty good. Defensively, I thought we did some good things as well. I felt like we were a little more stout in the run game. I was worried about that going into the game. Their primary plays, the power and the counter, I thought our players played fairly well, and there were some things obviously we need to do better. They hit us on a long run, but outside of that long run, we made them work for their yards and did some pretty good things. Like I said, the overall fight was pretty good. We know there's a lot of things that we need to get corrected. With the quarterback situation, we need to continue to evaluate that. I thought both guys struggled at times Saturday. That had to do with a great Florida defense and us not executing. But we'll continue to look at that situation as we go forward. Looking ahead to South Carolina, going to be another great challenge. Really looking forward to going down there. Playing at South Carolina, we know to be a real challenge. I have a lot of respect for Coach Spurrier. I've known Coach Spurrier for a long time, and his son, Steve Jr. So it'll be a real challenge, but we're looking forward to it.
You coach figured out what happened, the JoJo thing. You weren't really.
Yes, it was. And the bottom line was we had 10 runs from the running back position, and part of that was schemed to get some runs on the perimeter, which I actually thought we had some good success. They were well-designed plays, and we were getting the ball to the perimeter and getting some yards on that. I think when you go back and look at the film, we certainly could have run the ball more with the running backs inside because we actually had some decent success. When you have 4 yards and 5 yards against that defense, that's a successful running play. And JoJo with the 10 or 11-yard run and so on. But we only had 50 snaps or 47 snaps, and so with JoJo, some specialty plays. Raymond's better, and so some plays it doesn't matter which back's in it. It could be a fake. And then and then 10 running plays with the running backs. JoJo got 3, Ray got 5, and Deshaun got 2. So I think we could all look at the film and wish we had 70 snaps, but we didn't. And so I think that goes to a lot of things. We need to do better. We need to coach better. We need to give them the ball a little bit more. But I think for a variety of reasons, it worked out that way.
Coach, when you see a game like last Saturday, a guy who's watching a game at home, and they go, oh, now we haven't gotten better, we lost to Florida. Do you see that incremental, what you're looking for, that improvement as you go every week?
Yeah, we did. We did some good things. We really did. And I mean, listen, I know I may set myself up for the shots or whatever. I mean, I can't worry about all that. All I'm worried about is getting better every day. I thought our players did a good job. I really do. I thought our coaches, did a good job after really being very frustrated after the game and during the game. I was, just like everybody. I was frustrated. And you go in Sunday and you start nitpicking everything that we do, making sure we're doing everything that we can to be successful. And I thought we gave ourselves some chances. I really did. We need to do things better. We know that. Take the first drive, for instance. They take the ball and go 93 yards in almost, 8 minutes or whatever it is. And that's frustrating as a defensive guy. The good news of that is some of the base run plays that we need to improve on defending, or you're never going to be good. We improved. We had them. The one that crushes me is the third down, the third and long, that they executed because we had been very good on third and long situations, and That was actually my fault. I called the pressure, and it was a compliment off some other things we had been doing in the first 3 games, and it wasn't good to empty, and so it didn't work out. So that's on me, and those are the ones that frustrate you, you know. But you know, again, you just look at all those things. The game goes fast, you know, with 7, 8 possessions, and that's where we can't afford to miss our opportunities. You know, Florida made the most of it. They scored, they got ahead, and kept control of the game that way. So, you know, that's the way it went.
Did the game plan offensively call for the first several plays to be scripted on offense?
Yes, yeah, we scripted. We always script the opening of the game unless it's a 3rd and short. Then he has options. But like Neil said, we had been working that 3rd and short play, the one that didn't work later in the day. But you know, we had been struggling. They're very good on 3rd and short. So you know, you see that you know with a lot of offenses in football right now. There's, you know, 3rd and 2 sometimes is hard to get against that defense.
Mark, South Carolina, they got down 10-0, and then they came out second half, tried to grind
Pound it,
it out, and went to pound. Do you expect them to do a lot of the same thing Saturday?
I do. I think they'll change a little. I think Connor Shaw, you know, had a little more experience, and you know, you saw some more of the gun running game stuff with the quarterback run game. I think we will still see that, but I do expect them to be under center a little bit more as well and run it. And like I said, I think if you just look at us as a program, you know, as a defensive guy, if you can't stop power running teams in this league, you got 0 chance to win. You know, so I think we're making some improvement, and you know, you have to, at the core of your team, you have to be able to defend some of that stuff, and yeah, we're not there yet, but I think we're getting better.
Mark, when you took early on, you said something about the locker room kind of been beaten down a little bit. You could tell most of them. Were you concerned at all about what this stretch of games might do to that? And I ask because it doesn't seem to be happening.
Yes, I would be concerned about that, and you know, when I put on the film Sunday, you know, I was pleased with the effort. I was pleased with the effort on offense and on defense and on special teams. And that's a big part of it. You know, you have to give it everything you got, or again, you have no chance. And I felt like our players worked hard and fought hard. We're by no means perfect. We know there's a lot of things we need to clean up and get better at. But that was a good indication. And again, that's what I told them after the game, that I was looking forward to Monday. Let's get back to work on Monday and get better. That, you know, I believe that's what we need to do, and that's what we need to focus on. Nobody likes to lose, and nobody likes to go through tough stretches and all that. And you all have been sitting here interviewing people for a long time, and you know, you probably heard a lot of the same answers and all that. And it's not fun for anybody involved. But for us, it's back to work. You know, I'm enjoying preparing this team and getting better and in the process of what we're in right now. It's just it's a real challenge, but you know, win or lose, it's back to work, and we're on to South Carolina, and we're going to give it the best chance we can to win.
Mark, when you talk about you're still evaluating quarterbacks, should we anticipate there to be a lot of in the same series switching guys?
No, honestly, we'd like to get to one. We really would. You know, last week again was a little bit unique with Max being banged up. You know, he missed the entire bye week. He came back. Max threw the ball extremely well last week in practice. Looked very good so you know, we're in a little bit of a quandary right now with what to do. I think we are going to try to gear it towards one person, give him most of the reps, and see what he can do. I think we need to do that. It has not been clear cut to this point. It'd be reckless for us just to name one guy to this point because nobody's taken the job. So you know, we're going to evaluate it hard this week and see where we're at.
Is that what the hope is, though, that one of those guys will kind of take the
Yes,
ownership?
absolutely. Yeah.
Mark, would it be fair to say that you're a little restless waiting for one of these guys to say,
Yeah.
I'm the guy?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Yes, I think we need one of these guys to take the reins and lead our team. Yes.
What's the biggest factor that's going to allow that to happen?
Pardon me?
What's the biggest factor, whether it's passing or
Consistency, just playing. You know, we will tailor our offense to whatever we need to do to help us move the ball to win games. And so we just need the best player to come forward and be consistent and give us a chance to win.
Mark, is there any way to prepare all these freshmen you're playing for their first SEC road game other than just throw them out there and see how it goes?
That's it. They just throw them to the wolves. No, they've been in some games now. They're getting a few plays under their belt, and you know what? They fought hard. I thought our young wide receivers fought hard against a very talented secondary. But just look at the things we did well: the perimeter run game, the blocking, the fight that you see in them. A lot of things that we evaluate very closely. I was pleased with the fight in our team. I really was. And I mean, hey, again. You know, when you lose 24-7, you can say that it is what it is. I'm not afraid to say that. You know, if it was the other way, I'd say it also. You know, if I thought our team laid down or didn't play well, I'd tell you that as well.
Mark,
We know
against
that-
Florida, you saw a lot of three-step drops, I'm assuming to try to protect, but do you anticipate seeing more of that? What do you do?
Well, yeah, they do a nice job. Of course, they made it quarterback friendly in that game, but you can do that when you're as physical as they are. You know, and like I said, going into that game, everything was set up around that. If you're not big and stout and can play certain plays against them, they'll embarrass you in a different way. You know, maybe, and it was frustrating for us. I mean, anytime you have the long drives and keeping the ball away from us, it is frustrating, and that's what they like to do, and the game goes quick that way. But they were helping the quarterback be successful. But he made some good plays too, just like the third down. He got hit. He took a tremendous shot. The guy was scot-free to him, and he took a shot and still delivered it.
What can you do about that? Anything defensively?
Well, of course we need to tighten down. Everybody, knows that. I mean, yeah, we could tighten up, and we could also give up 50, 70-yard touchdown passes too. So I mean, we'll play as tight as we can play. I mean, it's not like I forgot how to do that. Again, I mean, I don't need to remind you, do I? I mean, nobody in the country had more 3-and-outs than us a year ago. It's just.
The climate looming on the horizon. But aside from that, do you think you see better defensive ends you saw Saturday?
Well, that's hard for me to say better. They're all good. They're good. I mean, I said it all last week, the respect that I had for Florida's defense with Jadeveon and their other defensive end and their front four. I mean, those guys are really good players. Jadeveon's, arguably one of the best players at any position in the country. And he gets an awful lot of attention, and he deserves it.
Coach,
You buy the argument you have to sell out to stop him, or the rest of the line too good to do that?
But you really do. And I don't know if Jadeveon has the stats that he had a year ago. I never compared him or anything like that, but he gets an awful lot of attention, and he deserves it. If you don't if you don't know where he's at and pay attention to him with doubles and slides and things like that, then you can be hurt in a hurry.
Coach, looking ahead to this week going down to South Carolina, without giving us a game plan, obviously, for the folks at home, how generally can you attack this South Carolina team, and what can they expect to see from us?
Well, we've got to execute. Again, we've got to execute routine plays. We've got to do a better job. Again, going back to last week, I want to say we only had 7 possessions. 3 of them, we had them off balance. We couldn't finish the drives all the time, but we had some opportunities to score some points. And, we had, 3 drives that had them off balance out of 7, and we had 3 3-and-outs that will hurt you in a game like that. And the interception. But that was after a play that we had set up. We missed our shot. On first down, we missed our opportunity. And then we forced it on second through the interception. So we've got to continue to do what we do. That's what we got to look at as a staff. That's what believe me, we're very critical of ourselves, and we look at ourselves very closely. And, we get frustrated. It's human nature. And we go in there on Sunday and we look at everything. And Neil, is picked it apart 3-4 times, and I've picked it apart several times and met with them, and I believe in what they're doing. I really do. We got to find ways to move the ball. We got to find what we can do well and continue to improve. That's where that fine line comes in. Do you just move forward and try to be stubborn and do what you do, or do you find the best ways to move the ball to win games? And that's what we're going to try to do.
Mark Darian struggled, it seemed like, a little bit on Saturday. Was that a little bit surprising to you, and just him specifically, and then where
Yeah,
you think the line is?
the line, we had two plays that were absolutely unacceptable. I've been coaching defense a long time, and I've never had two free ones, and we gave them two free sacks. So, Merry Christmas. And but you know, and that's frustrating for me, just as a defensive guy, because that never happens. But we did, and one was on the tackle, and one was on the line call. So we'll take responsibility for that and get it fixed.
Are you concerned? Is that different than what you've seen from the offensive line all season? Or
It is. Once was a mental error. One was a complete mental error that we shouldn't have made, and we haven't made that mistake before. And you know, well, really, both of them you could say were mental errors, but one was on Darian and one was on somebody else.
Coach, when you say Raymond better at special teams right now, JoJo, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, you could see we're doing a lot of different things with perimeter run game and the flags and in certain things. It's just experience. You know, whether, you know, sometimes we're reading things with that guy on who to block on the perimeter, you know, things like that.
What does JoJo need to do to?
Just experience. But they're both good players. Raymond played very good. Raymond played very good, but Raymond played a very good game. He ran the ball pretty well. He caught it. He had some real key blocks that people underestimate. You know, that we had some good success with some of those things we were doing. So, you know, both guys need to play. Again, in a perfect world, we have more snaps and we give JoJo the ball more and run it more successfully. I mean, that's pretty easy to say.
Mark, they only outscored you 3-0 in the second half. In terms of your defense, what do you take from that into the South Carolina game and try to build on?
Well, again, I thought, you know, I said it last week, and you know, when they bring in extra tackles, they bring in 3 backs, 2 extra tackles. They do a lot of different things that could put some stress on you, and you know, I thought we did some good things. I really do. There were some things that were very frustrating, you know, that aren't right. Just leverage on the football. The long run is unacceptable. The TD run from the quarterback was unacceptable. I mean, we had it stopped. If we take care of leverage on the ball, then it's a no game, and we didn't, and they score. So I mean, just keep on working, you know, keep on getting better.
What do you think of running back Davis?
I really like him. I remember him out of high school, and he's a really good player. He is. He's got great balance, great strength. You know, you look at him, and maybe some people don't think he's flashy or whatever, but he's constantly getting positive yards. And again, this is a typical SEC football team. They're a physical team when they want to be. And just like Florida, they're physical, but if you notice that game, they really hurt us with finesse plays. You know? So you got to defend everything, and that's where experience comes in and being good at a lot of things. You know, and you have to do that. You know, you have to dress things up.
Coach, you guys weren't too great on third down again this week. You talk about doing a lot of situation work in practice. Is there ever a point where you have to completely strip it down and change things?
Well, I don't know if we can completely change things. I think it comes down to execution. You know, we have to execute. You have to be very precise, and sometimes you have to be very tough. You know, if it's a short yardage situation, and we need to get better at both. You know, execution and toughness.
Coach, with Driscoll and Shaw, talk about how important it is to have depth in this league.
Yeah.
And talk about what you think you got depth.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have depth. I think you could see from both of those programs, Florida and South Carolina, that they have quality depth. You know, it's really not a big drop-off from either guy. Some might argue either guy may play better, you know, and I think we're in the same boat. You know, we have 2 quarterbacks that I guess aren't separating themselves. We wish we were a little bit more productive and playing better at that position, but I think you do need to have good depth in this league.
Mark, you guys are most penalized team in the league, I think, yards per game. That's something just plain young kids you just have to accept?
Yeah, I think we've improved the last few games, and so hopefully we're heading that trend in the right direction. I think we're getting better. I believe, what was it, in the Florida game, 3 maybe?
3.
Yeah.
Mark, obviously,
Bob worked for Coach Spurrier. How well do you know Steve? And just as a defensive coach, I mean, look at him
Yeah.
offensively, what he's been
Yeah.
able to do over the years. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I've known Coach Spurrier for a long time, since the days when Bob worked for him. Got to know him and his wife, Jerry. Really, their whole family know him very well. We see him from time to time on vacation. You know, on the beach, Coach goes to the same place Bob has some places, and we see him every now and then. And I always love seeing Coach Spurrier. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. I've only played against him once, and believe me, anytime you play an offensive mind like Coach Spurrier, you have to change things up. And he's just very good and great play caller, and they have great balance in their offense right now. So it'll be a real challenge, but it'll be exciting.
When you say you need more consistency out of your quarterbacks, how exactly do you cultivate that other than just waiting and hoping that it'll turn out as something?
Pardon me?
When you say you need your consistency out of your quarterbacks eventually being find one, how hard is that to cultivate other than just waiting and hoping that it happens?
Well, it is. It is hard. You know, we just practice and practice every day, and you know, and play our games and hope one guy takes charge. He hasn't done that yet, and you know, again, I think like most people, you know, we feel the same frustration at times, and but like I said earlier, I mean, just to name one, if he wasn't clearly the starter and not helping us, then we've tried that, you know. So
Have you seen any consistency in practice?
again, we look at Max. You know, once we made the move and we're going with Max, you know, he was doing pretty good in practice, and he gets hurt. He still has a good practice, and then, you know, last week goes out in the game and doesn't play like he was practicing.
Mark, do you look forward to sort of matching wits with a guy like Spurrier? Do you enjoy that? Or?
I do enjoy it. I do. I really like playing guys that I have a lot of respect for, and it's fun. You know, last week, you know, playing Florida, and you see the personality and will in how that team plays, and I love that challenge, and now going to South Carolina and playing Coach Spurrier, you know, it's sleepless nights, but it gives you a little fix. Yeah.
Try to get ready for the road. You pipe in crowd noise.
Pardon me?
To try to get your guys ready for their first road game,
Yeah.
you pipe in noise
Yeah.
in practice. Do you bring in some
We do.
drunken college students to yell at the players?
No, we do. We bring in crowd noise. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be a hostile environment. That's for sure. And I think you'll see a team down there. We know they're going to play fast and furious. And you know, just looking at you know, just the way they started against Vanderbilt. I mean, they had a chance to go 35-0 in a hurry against Vandy. I mean, they started fast, and the one interception kind of changed that a little bit and slowed them down, but they were on a roll.
Okay, how did Godby play?
He did. You know what? He did good, and he's going to hold that position as of right now. And I think it's very important to Max, and you know, maybe what he doesn't have physically, he makes up with his determination and his effort. It's very important to him. He plays extremely hard.
Mark, did Darryl Collins, did he indicate why he didn't throw the ball back on there?
There was some color in between, I guess, and you know, he just didn't throw it. I wish he would have.